Everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's webinar, Enhancing Medical Device Manufacturing with Salesforce, Strategies for Success. I'm Matt Pross, Marketing Director at Argano, and I will be your moderator today. As some folks are still filtering in, let's cover some general housekeeping items about our On24 webinar platform. If you have technical or content-related questions during the presentation, please use the Q&A window, and we will address your questions when we are able. Closed captioning is available by selecting the CC button in the bottom right corner of your media player screen. You can expand, minimize, and move each of the window panes displayed on your screen if needed. Be sure to check the related content section of your webinar console for relevant resources, including a PDF of today's presentation. If you don't see the related content module, click the paperclip in the navigation bar at the bottom of your screen. And finally, this presentation is being recorded, and we will send all registrants a link to the recording post-webinar. Now let's meet today's presenters. Jennifer Stango is Vice President of Strategic Growth at Argano. She has led consulting practices in healthcare and life sciences for more than 15 years and has helped enterprise clients in the industry solve business-critical challenges. Prior to that, she held Director of IT and CFO positions. Angela Colston is a Principal Pre-Sales Solutions Architect at Argano. She has specialized in the Salesforce manufacturing and health and life sciences industries for the last 19 years in various capacities as a client and consultant. Angela uses that experience to help clients digitize and transform their business processes to realization. Now a little bit about Argano. At Argano, we assist enterprises in adapting their services to meet evolving needs by crafting the right transformation strategy, connecting the entire enterprise to enhance efficiency, optimizing the operational environment for peak performance, and fostering continuous improvement to drive profitability and growth. Our approach encompasses strategy consulting, performance consulting, data and intelligence services, enterprise technology modernization, and managed services to ensure sustainable business outcomes and continued success. We focus on realigning business strategy, reassessing data and intelligence, redefining people and processes, and re-architecting technology to optimize operations for continuous improvement. By leveraging industry best practices and providing actionable insights, we ensure that your teams are equipped with the tools, knowledge, and strategies needed to lead in a dynamic environment. A final reminder before we get started, feel free to enter any questions you may have for our presenters into the Q&A window in your webinar module at any time during the presentation. We will get to the questions at the end. Now, without further delay, let's get started. Jen, over to you.
Thanks so much, Matt. So we wanted to talk really about what's happening in technology and in the manufacturing industry before we dive into what's happening in the medical device. So when we think about what's happening in technology, everybody's talking, of course, about AI, but really it's the expansion of digital strategies and tactics. When you think about 70% of data right now is not being used for any strategic purposes. So a lot of our clients and a lot of the industry experts are talking about how are you going to use that data to move your business further. We've seen the total movement of personalized user experiences. And when you think about it, we have all these computers and devices at our fingertips. They know more about your product or about your business than they historically did. So how are you personalizing that? How are you dealing with that user community that is very well engaged, very knowledgeable? We brought up AI, but when you think about it, there's multiple cloud technologies out there. So everybody is utilizing AI, but they're also utilizing multi-cloud. Best of breed solutions, interoperability. How are you looking at that to get greater efficiencies out of your business? Automation keeps coming up. I realize automation is a portion of AI, but when you think about IoT or RPA, these are still really great cases for automation. It's definitely a way to propel your business further and also to get really great cost optimization or efficiencies from it. With the generation or Gen AI that came out, we're seeing a lot of advancements in low code, no code development in ERP systems. I think most of the publishers out there have a response to this, whether it's inside of the ERP or inside of the CRM. We're seeing massive development in that low code, no code of how you can streamline a process, get that automation from it. I think AI powered CRMs are here when you think about the social media presence as the younger generation is becoming consumers of products. Is how are you looking at the data? How is that being captured to get into how your brand perception is occurring or how customer behavior is going to impact your revenue, your market share? And then, we brought it up a little bit earlier, but it's that combination of AI-powered CRM tools, right? We saw it inside of ERP with the low code, no code, but think about things like guided selling or personalization of experience. One of the most interesting presentations I've seen recently was the idea of from the time someone has a baby until it enters college, how they can actually look at that solution and look at the journey that that child's going through and personalizing it. And so that CRM that's AI powered plus cloud sitting behind it. I think inside of manufacturing, we're definitely seeing the idea of foresight factories. That is intelligent automation, predictive maintenance. I think dark factories as well are here. So a lot of people are spending time of how do you handle that? How are you looking at all of that intelligent automation, the predictive maintenance that you need to keep that factory up and running? Decentralized manufacturing keeps coming up amongst our customer base. I think that a lot of people are looking at this very seriously, and it's the idea of how can you become more resilient. We saw global supply chain issues galore, right? So how are you dealing with that inside of your business? The purposeful shift towards sustainability, I think environmentally, everybody is looking at there's a lot of rebates for companies. There's a lot of investment being made about how can you be a green company. And then data-based tools for virtual training and monitoring. I think this really came up during COVID and it's here to stay. So how are you training your employees virtually and keeping them up to date on the latest product releases or the latest even HR trainings that you need? One other thing that we definitely have seen, and I think a lot of the clients that I've talked to are talking more and more about this idea of interactive hubs. And it's as you're dealing with your customer, especially if you're an outsourced vendor and they want to see your manufacturing processes, they can actually watch the product from the time the raw materials come in to the time that the finished product's coming out or how you do your QA. So all of those interactive hubs are being invested in very heavily in the market. Now, when we dive into medical devices, which is what we're here to talk about today, digital transformation industry 4.0 is here to stay. So most people are looking very heavily into the IoT investment, AI, big data and analytics of how do you enhance your production efficiency, quality control, and predictive maintenance, right? Smart factories with real-time monitoring and optimization for your manufacturing processes. The shift to personalized precision medicine, we really saw this come out of COVID. It's the first time ever that med device manufacturers or even pharmaceutical companies are getting information back from the end consumer where I had an allergic reaction or I don't like the way the device fits or I don't like the metal on my knee, can you fix it? So as they're doing that, it's that shift towards that customized medical devices that would be tailored to an individual patient needs. And when you think about what happened with 3D printing, if you go in and you now hurt yourself or your child hurts herself and they need a cast, that's actually going to be 3D printed versus the good old days when they'd wrap you up and it would break, right? And then biocompatible materials are definitely getting really popular in personalized precision. There's also an increasing demand for precision devices and diagnostics and treatments. And it's not just a traditional med device like my smartwatch, an Oura Ring, or the continuous diabetes monitoring. We're seeing a lot of investment being made in that specific space as personalized precision medicine is here. I know when I talk about this in terms of pharmaceuticals, it's about how do you engineer drugs or how do you look at a patient's outcomes to prevent it in the future. The same thing's happening inside of med device. It's that same concept, getting the feedback and re-engineering a device where they're going to get a better outcome from it. Cybersecurity concerns are definitely very prevalent in the market right now. the healthcare sector saw about a 55% increase in cyber attacks in 2022. Medical devices were a primary target. This has heightened the demand for secure things like the CRM system that Angela is going to talk about. And we need to make sure that they comply with data privacy regulations. So this is definitely a trend that we're seeing in the market with more and more investment being made. I talked about the sustainability and green manufacturing, but when you think about it is, do you have environmentally friendly production processes? What are you doing in regards to your materials, and what are you doing to reduce waste? We all know that there's federal or state rebates for companies. So how are you addressing this? And then are you looking at a circular economy principle, right? And is that in your device design or how you're manufacturing to where you're minimizing your environmental impact? When we think about supply chain resilience, how are you looking at that diversification of supply sources? There's an increased focus on how can you get local manufacturing, and that's to reduce the reliance on global supply chains. We saw it during COVID with all the ships backed up, but there's been other natural disasters. I know in my career, what I've seen is that there was a gigantic lidocaine shortage. I think that was about 10 years ago, and they were trying to figure out how to get all of the other canes. So it's the idea of how do you have secondary and tertiary vendors so that way you can keep your supply chain up to date. And we also know that you have QA and you have regulations. So how are you addressing that from a medical device manufacturing standpoint? A lot of people are actually going in and they're implementing advanced analytics. And the idea is, can you get better demand forecasting and inventory management? A lot of companies have moved away from just in time and are looking more at economic order quantities. So how are you doing that as a business? AI and machine learning, we talked about it before, but when you think about it inside of research and development, how are you using AI or machine learning to get accelerated device designs out there? Can you use them for testing? And is it going to actually lead to a faster time to market for you? The use of predictive algorithms to enhance device performance and patient outcomes is very prevalent in the market. We're seeing this over and over again inside of med device and inside of other manufacturers. I think this is going to be one of the trends that really propels us into 2025. We're also seeing a lot of collaborative innovation. I think that goes back to personalized precision medicine, but it's the growing partnerships between a med device manufacturer like yourself, a tech company, even a healthcare provider. And can you co-develop those new innovative solutions? Most of the analysts are talking about we moved from supply chain resilience or just trying to get by from COVID to now how are we innovating inside of the market? And I think this collaborative innovation is really going to propel it. I think that there's really an increased focus on this and collaborative R&D ecosystems, at least in the clients that I'm talking to right now. When we look about CRM, and I know Angela's going to do a deeper dive in this, the one thing I really want to hit on is the field service management integration. Companies that traditionally integrate field service management with their CRM systems have reported about a 22% increase in first-time fix rates and a 15% improvement in technician productivity. So this improvement leads to higher customer satisfaction. It's going to reduce your overall service cost. And this stat aligns with larger trends inside of CRM and field service, where it's showing that integrations like this enhance operational efficiency, customer experience. We're seeing this throughout Forrester and Gartner. They're talking a ton about the movement towards interconnectivity with field service management and CRM. These integrations would streamline your workflows. It's going to improve your access to your customer data, and it's going to enable more selective or effective service delivery. So the other things I've kind of captured we talked about it, but I really wanted to hit on that because I think it's an important statistic of what we've seen inside of our customer base. The other thing that we get asked a ton about is what is the FDA doing? We saw a ton of FDA validated algorithms. When you think about it for cancer detection, a lot of it was inside of radiology. The FDA is definitely taking more of a role in advancing AI inside of life sciences. What they're really talking about is how do you foster collaboration to safeguard public health? What are you doing about the regulatory approaches that are going to support the innovation that we're seeing inside of the market? We actually have a blog series out there on Argano.com that you can take a look at where we've evaluated the latest FDA trends. We also have a link in here for any of the documents that the FDA has actually released in regards to AI. So I think this is definitely going to be one of the things that we're seeing, like the FDA first release from computer system validation to computer system assurance. Now we're seeing the leap of, we have AI, it's here to stay, and how are we going to address it as an organization to make sure that patient safety is kept up and that we can meet the regulatory needs. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Angela, and she's going to do deep dive. Thank you so much.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, thanks, Jen. So why Salesforce Manufacturing Cloud for CRM? The right CRM helps you manage your entire book of business and customer service lifecycle while increasing collaboration and transparency between sales, operations, and provides data foundation and analytics capabilities so manufacturers can sense demand shifts and operational disruptions in real time. The sales process and complex sales cycles involving multiple stakeholders, including hospital decision makers, procurement, and medical staff, help manage these intricate relationships and processes, ensuring that all communications and interactions are logged and accessible, navigating long sales cycles effectively. Under strict regulatory standards, ensure compliance by providing tools that manage and track interactions, maintain detailed records, and store critical data securely. This is essential for adhering to regulations such as HIPAA, which governs and handling of patient information. Post-sales support is crucial in medical device field. Enable manufacturers to track device installations, manage maintenance schedules, and respond promptly to service requests. This not only helps in maintaining high level of customer satisfaction, but also in adhering to safety and regulatory requirements for device upkeeping and reporting. Providing powerful tools from data analysis and segmentation. Use these tools to identify market trends, understand customer needs, and tailor their marketing strategies accordingly. This targeted approach can lead to more effective marketing campaigns and product development strategies that are closely aligned and market demands. Integrated with other systems like ERP, can provide comprehensive management of inventory and orders. This is particularly important for managing the logistics of manufacturing and distributing complex medical devices. Accurate inventory data help prevent stockouts and excess inventory, both of which can be costly. Slide. So manufacturing cloud demo here, unlocking your ERP is part of our use cases. We begin with our fictitious company, Balena, who is a global leader in medical technologies of products, equipment, and services who faced many challenges in effectively managing sales and operations planning processes. So we started with integrations. This includes order, inventory, invoices, or actual invoices, to provide real-time visibility to production activities, track inventory levels, and identifying bottlenecks and issues. From a sales and operations standpoint, it was important for us to provide team alignment, collaboration, streamlining those processes, improve decision-making, and drive operational efficiency. We implemented manufacturing cloud orders and receipt of fulfillment. Field service work orders for asset tracking and preventative maintenance, which we will go through some of that in our demo today. Demand planning, leverage sales data, market insights, and historical trends for forecasting, inventory, and better production planning. We'll review Tableau analytics combined with manufacturing analytics to display current and historical trends. Our sales and operations journey starts with 4 personas here. We have Wanda, our executive, leveraging Tableau Pulse. Sam, our account manager, leveraging manufacturing cloud, opportunities, sales agreements, forecasting, and orders. Sue, who's our service rep, leveraging SAP integration, demand planning, data cloud, and manufacturing cloud. Looking at service components such as account details, historical sales, cases, field service work orders, current and expired warranties, and inventory. This is the area that we will be focusing on today. John, our field tech, leveraging manufacturing cloud, field service, data cloud, IoT, data cloud, and Omni Studio business tools. Also leveraging Einstein throughout. So as you look at our slide here, we really looked at a couple things here for our analytics and also leveraging manufacturing cloud out of the box for our service folks. We also have a mobile device, which will show our executive team from a very high level what their current dashboards and trends are for today. If we start from the right to the left, we have the sales pipeline dashboard. In the middle, we have the service agent, which is able to see opportunities, sales agreements, forecasts, orders, cases, work orders, and assets. One thing that we don't have listed here because we had limited space, but we also have inventory. So they do have visuals into inventory and whether if there's anything in there from shortages to also historical trends. So let's dive into our demo. If you give me 1 second, and Matt, if you can give me a thumbs up that I'm able to share my screen, that'd be very helpful.
Yep, no problem. All right, I can see your screen, Angela.
Perfect, thank you. Okay. Okay, so if we start here with our service agent home screen, and this is our dashboard, we start with the low inventory report here to the far left. This is our watch list. The service agent has the ability to see any products that they've sold in their previous orders and customers that they have a list of. And if there's anything that's, it would be impacted based on their order history and current and future orders. We do have Einstein here running in the background that will provide them with recommendations. So let's say you have a customer that has a specific supplier that they use for, let's say the 8mm cannula camera here that's listed here, and we're running really low on inventory. Einstein will go ahead and provide a list of recommendations, whether to suggest a like product or generic supplier that could provide the same type of product. We also have here at the next level here is inventory by location and product counts. So what this is giving you is a view of products that are residing in other locations along with the product counts. It also breaks it down by warehouse. So you can look at each individual warehouse, how many units you have per product. The user also has the ability to see my accounts, all draft orders, all open work orders, and then also any recent activity that they have been working on. So let's take a look here, because there's one thing that we have in Salesforce today is we've leveraged IoT to monitor sensors in our assets around cameras. And so anything that has a failure or anything that we need to have an alert sent over to our service team will show up here on the right-hand side. These alerts are assigned to specific assets, which are also assigned to specific customers. So this particular service agent is Sue. She's able to come in here and see that one of her customers has an alert that came up on a handheld camera and a diagnostic failure showing here that fired. So Sue can go ahead and click into this, and she can go ahead and triage it and see, okay, let's take a look and see from the asset. We're going to go to the asset record and take a look at the details. So we can come in here and take a look at the details. The handheld camera fired, and she can get specific information here. She can go ahead and create a case if she needs to, but in this case, we're going to go ahead and create a work order. So let me go ahead and start working on that. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. We're going to run a diagnostic, leave this set to new. I'm going to do the service territory. This customer is located in Chicago. I'm going to set this to medium. And it's already gone ahead and pulled in the asset here for the handheld camera. I'm going to go ahead and put in my service report template. Like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in the address. And put in our subject. Is we want them to verify the firmware and run the diagnostics. And we're also going to send them a quick description of what is happening here after they've gone through, and Sue's gone through and dug a little deeper into what the issue is. And then we're going to go ahead and click save. Okay, so now the work order has been completed. And as you can see, we've got the details here. We do have some work plans that are set up, and this is assigned to our dispatcher. So as the dispatcher is taking a look at the work order, they're able to kind of go through and pick up a templated work plan for the field technician that's itemized for certain items that have to be checked off and completed as part of that work plan. And so they have a full checklist of everything that has to be done in order to close out this work order. Okay. The service appointment has automatically been created here, so we can go ahead and look into this. And the service appointment is very similar to what we did with the work order. What this does is that it'll initiate the dispatcher to come in and assign it to a field technician. So a couple things that we want to make sure that we look at here is the time constraints here. It automatically defaults to the early started permitted time, date and time, and then the due date. So if we want to actually schedule this, or we know that the duration is going to take longer than 30 minutes, we could definitely adjust this and change this to 60 minutes, so giving the field tech an hour. We're going to go ahead and take a look and make sure that we don't have to include anything else. And we're going to go ahead and save this. So now at this point, the field technician will be dispatched by our dispatcher, and we'll go ahead and complete the service appointment. A couple of things that I want to show you here is on the service appointment, you will be able to see the history. So from if Sue wants to come in here and take a look and see, okay, where's my field tech? Should the customer call and want to understand, okay, where is the field tech on site? How long is it going to take? What has been completed? She can quickly come here and take a look and see the progression of that service appointment. She could also take a look at the work order as well. So we go back to the work order. The work order does have some of the similarity features from the service appointment, and they can just double click into some of these things. From the service, or from the work order, they're also able to see product that's required to complete that work order. They can see the products that were consumed on that work order, and they can also see the service reports. The field technician is able to also complete their timesheets in this work order as well. So there's a lot of transparency between the sales team, the service team, and also the field technicians. So from an operational standpoint, we're giving everybody a 360 view of what's happening with this customer. Okay. I'm going to go back to our home screen because I want to go ahead and show you the Chicago Surgical. This is the client that we were working on to take a look at their specific alert failure that happened with their camera. We are able to see their current opportunities, all of their assets. These are all firing off of IoT, and they're all tracked per unit. They're also, we also have visibility into the work orders. So anything that has to be done specifically for those handheld cameras, as you can see, they have more than 6 units out in their field. There's preventative maintenance, there's inspections that are going on, any on-site diagnostic checks, problems with cameras, installation, they're all visible here. We could also see their current orders in several different statuses, any cases. So for this particular customer, we have, our customer Roland that called in and is requesting warranty information. As you can see from our right-hand side, there's a warranty that's due to expire within the next 90 days. So this also gives their service agent and the sales account manager visibility to come in here and take a look at any warranties that could be potentially coming up for expiration, and be a little bit more proactive and working with the client to renew those. They're also able to see forecasts. So any products that they're currently purchasing from Velena, and then taking a look at their forecasting from month to month. And we could also do mass updates, add products in real time here. Okay. And we also have, to the far left, we have their contacts, sales agreements, and this is more historical. So you can kind of double click into these and it'll show you some of the activities, when it was activated, the end date, and all of the products that are associated to that sales agreement. So you can see this client has several sales agreements in place. And then on the far right side, we could see the weekly sales. This is Tableau running in the background that's providing a lot of these analytics real time. And so we could see weekly sales, high volatile trends here as far as, products, high peak times. It also, you're also able to ask for top insights, specific questions around products, any white space that you may be missing. So a lot of these things here are really nice to have from a sales perspective. And you can see some of the contributors here from a product category perspective as well. So you can see where instrument covers, they're up 73.7% versus surgical instruments, which are just up 8.4%. So it does provide you a lot of insight here. Okay. I'm going to go to our executive dashboard here, because I do want to highlight some of the things that are going on here from, Wanda's perspective here. She wants to be able to kind of take a look at that executive dashboard. She can go in here and see week over week activity. So if we look at sales, we can see the peaks and valleys here where we've got drops or we have peaks. she can go ahead and just hover over certain areas, and you can have a very specific highlight what happened here in this during this time frame versus like where we have this lull right down here during July 28th. We dropped 38%. You can come in here and double click into that and see what is actually happening. Very similar to orders, we also have the same thing week over week. You can see the counts, peaks and valleys, so we can kind of hover and see, you know, why are we dropping so low? The average order size, that's also trending here. And then the average days to ship, same thing. You can see peaks and valleys here. And then the seasonality, and this is really around all the products of orders and units that have been ordered. And you can see the quantities where there have been highs and lows. So we could definitely double click in here, take a look at the month of October and really understand why did our quantities have such a drastic drop. Similarly with the product trends as well. We have product trends by month and product family. So you can kind of just double click in some of these white spaces and really understand why we have some drops here. And we also have total sales by product family. We have accessories, which is our top sales number here, and then the top 5 products total sales. And we also have our bottom 5 product total sales. And you could also see your sales growth week over week as well. Okay. So that concludes our demo for Manufacturing Cloud. I'm going to give Matt a minute to switch back over to our slides.
We should be back now, Angela.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what we just saw. So we went through and took a look at this from a service perspective. We have addressed many of the business challenges that Belena experienced by integrating their ERP to provide, from a sales perspective, to deliver accurate forecasts for the customer's demand, allowing operations to plan and execute through their supply chain ERP. Also leveraging Einstein Insights and next best actions. The service team, they're able to see a 360 view of the customer to quickly answer any customer questions like warranties or make changes to orders, or double clicking into some of those alerts and issuing work orders. Supply chain, they are able to leverage Salesforce agreements and forecasting to provide customer demands and inventory realities to the back office ERP systems. This will allow better demand planning based on what is in stock, what to produce and what to procure, provide visibility into the entire structure of the product build inside of Salesforce. This is just a sample of what we've done for our offerings. If you'd like to go into a deeper dive into the offerings, please feel free to reach out to Argano. Happy to help and where we can as far as your current needs and where you are in your journey.
Great, thanks, Angela. That was pretty cool. All right, now we're going to transition to live audience Q&A. So if you haven't already, please enter your questions into the Q&A module. While you do that, we actually have a few that came in while Angela was demoing, so we'll get started with those. Angela, I think you'd be the person to answer this one. So somebody is wondering, why should I be thinking about using Salesforce Data Cloud?
Great question. So a couple things that, when we started with our demo, we leveraged Data Cloud to improve the sales and operations user experience and to provide AI recommendations within orders and demand planning. If your company is looking to expand in AI capabilities, Data Cloud definitely can help with that. It's really good at looking at dynamic recommendations, predicting next steps, and then also going further with AI. So I would highlight those three components as part of the Data Cloud functionality.
Awesome, thank you. All right, next question. This one's for Jen. So an audience member is wondering, besides Oracle and SAP, what other systems has Argano integrated into in the industry?
That's a great question, Matt. When you think about medical device manufacturing as a whole, they're really big into interoperability. So they have a whole bunch of systems besides just ERP and Salesforce. So traditionally what we see is that there are some external CPQ systems that we've integrated to. Of course, PLM systems or LMS, QA, quality assurance, QC systems, barcode labeling systems. The good thing about what's happened in the market is most of the major publishers got together and came up with like a common data model. And we leverage that so we can really integrate to any of the inoperable systems that a med device manufacturer is running. So hopefully that answered the question.
Yes, it did. Thank you, Jen. All right, last question. This one is for Angela. How can I use Salesforce to enable predictive equipment maintenance?
Good question. So I feel like that's kind of IoT. And the one thing that we used here for that is really integrating, again, our sensors to monitor the data in real time. We also use that information to push those notifications, alerts to Salesforce, but you can also build automation using Omni Studio business rules to create some of those actions. So for example, devices can send users guides to fix minor issues or create tickets for the service team to address, some of those serious issues, kind of what you witnessed in our demo. So some of the benefits, I think, by doing that is using IoT to include like equipment breakdowns. Those can be reduced and also save you some time. And then also those real-time diagnostics. Those can improve, product efficiency. But also I think, businesses can use insights from big data to make more informed strategic decisions. I hope that's helpful.
Yes, thank you. All right, that concludes our webinar for today. Thanks so much for attending. Again, we will follow up with the recording of the webinar as well as the slides post-webinar. Have a great rest of your day.